Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. We're really excited to have you here with us today. We've got a ton of things that we're going to show you with the new advisors. So for those of you who are on, well, depending upon what platform you're on, you could be in LinkedIn, you could be on YouTube, you could be on Facebook. Comment and just say, hey, we're here. We're looking forward to seeing who's in the different platforms. So let us know. And if you have any questions as we're going through, please don't hesitate to ask your questions. We'll answer them. We have Matt online with us as well, and he's going to pop in if we have any questions or anything that pops up. And hey, Sherry, glad to have you here. Let's see here. There we are. There's Sherry. I'm going to just adjust this a little bit. Good to have you here, Sherry. Oh, and then there's Scott and Susan. Well, we're sure glad to have you guys with us today. And anybody else that's on, don't hesitate to say hey. And again, if you have any comments or questions, by all means, reach out. So, for those of you who are financial advisors and that are using the ACT software with the advisor add-on, we're going to be showing you some really cool stuff today. For those of you who are using ACT but not using the advisor, you'll want to stay tuned because there's some pretty cool things that maybe you're missing out on that you could be using in your practice. And for those of you who may be on LinkedIn that are financial advisors who aren't using the ACT CRM, yeah, pay attention. This may be something that you may be interested in that will help your practice as well as managing your particular contacts and in your database. All right, so let's dive in. I got my agenda here. So just kind of want to talk about what we're going to go through today, and there's some other stuff besides this. But there's we have a new modern look and feel. And it's funny, ACT version 25 just came out about a month ago, a little less than a month ago. And we've edited out. They didn't do a lot of features like, oh, here's a bunch of new stuff. They fixed a bunch of stuff under the hood. And that's okay. Sorry about that. And so that's okay. So we decided way before then that we were going to do some modern changes. And so we've got a new look and feel I think you'll like. We've got a new pop-out screen or screen pop-outs that have been requested for some time, and we finally got around to doing something that I think is going to enhance what you're doing or make your life a little bit easier as you're navigating around in ACT. We've got a new universal search in there. We made some adjustments to the new alerts. We have a new thing called a Snap-on Sidebar, and I got to be honest, I've only seen it today, so I'm excited to show this to you. And we're going to be showing you also some stuff with custom tables that have been done as well. So Matt has spent hours and hours and weeks and months putting all of this great stuff together, taking information from feedback from different advisors, things that we've come up with. The Snap-on Sidebar, that's all Matt. He's a wizard when it comes to this kind of stuff. So we're going to be showing you some cool things. So first of all, let's just dive into this thing and start showing you all these cool features. Now, I will be flipping screens here because I've got my. There's so many things we have. I've got a list. And it's a fairly long list. So I'll be going through my list as we're going through to make sure I don't miss anything because there's a lot of stuff to show you. So let me jump over to the other screen. There we go. All right. So you'll notice, for those of you who are using the advisor add-on with ACT, you'll notice that the screen, we still have the green format, if you will. Now, one of the changes we've made, we've got the advisor logo up on the nav bar now. We've taken that off, and so we've got a little more real estate there for you to have your layout. And you'll notice we have rounded corners on these panels, and makes it just look a little bit more modern. Let me go down here to personal. You'll see the same thing. You'll see rounded corners, and just makes it a little bit ergonomically nicer to look at, right? Well, we've kicked that up a notch. So not only do we have, oh, one other thing that I'm going to show you before I go into that is also, do you remember all the lines that used to have those crisscross lines here, the grid lines? Well, just to make it a little more modern, we parsed it based on a gray and a white background, and I think it just makes it a little bit nicer. So that just a few little tweaks that way, just to make it a little bit nicer to look at. So now let me just go into this. Oh, Brandon's on. Hey, Brandon, good to have you with us. All right, so now let's go into some of this modern changes. So what we've done here, and I mean, you look at the same screen day after day, well, depending upon you, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and maybe you get a little bored at how things are looking. So what we did is we have this advisor settings now, and we're on the green one here. You also have, this is the traditional blue one that comes in the box. I'm just going to change it to that. So there's your traditional blue. And then what we have is we've got the green, and then we have custom colors. And so this is the custom color here that I was on, and that's the default when you go in there. And then you can load your logo up as well. So if you can have your logo or not, and I'm going to use my logo, I'm going to pop it in there. And then you can put your own logo in there, upload your logo, pop it in there, and have it in or have it out, depending upon whether you want to use this real estate here or not. And then if you're really, wanting to get a little bit more fancier, you can go in here and say, well, okay, let's. This is the color I've got mine on mine. I did a purple, and we'll change purple. I'll take out the logo, and there's my purple color. So get creative. Change it up every day if you want. Whatever. These are personal settings right here. The color changes. So. Each one of you can have your own little flavor of screen. Logo too, if you want. Whatever logo you want to put on there, and color your logo up. So that's the modern. You like that, do you, Susan? Yeah, it makes a difference for sure. It makes a difference for sure. All right, so let's move on. Let's see, Matt. Anything else on the modern interface that I maybe missed here? You have to you're muted, Matt. You're still muted. Oh, he's going to go out and back in again. Maybe what I'll do when he's back in, I'll mute him and unmute him instead of him. Maybe sometimes that'll happen. Oh, there he's back in here. You're still looks like you're muted, Matt. I don't know why. You should be. I have no idea, Matt, why you're not unmuted. That is bizarro. I cannot unmute myself. And I've got you unmuted on here. We'll carry on. Matt, you can just go ahead and text in there. Am I missing anything, Matt, that you can think of? Here, let me try just one thing here. Where are you? Oh, I know why. I know why. Hang on here. Hang on here. Sorry, everyone. Little bit of messing here. Can you try something now, Matt? No, you're still muted. Have no idea. Well, we're on a beta version of this live stream software that just came out yesterday. An update that just came out yesterday. Maybe there's a glitch there. Anyways, we're moving on. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so we'll assume, Matt, if there's anything, you can just put it in the thing as well. No, nothing covered. Main points. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go on to the next thing. What else do I have here? Oh, modern UI calendar. So we've made some changes to the calendar as well. You've got this bigger banner at the top there. You've got a different kind of bar across here. There's a little bit more room. It makes it a little bit bigger and easier for the viewer to be able to view their calendar and have a look at what's going on there. And so I quite like this new look in the calendar. It's just makes it a little bit easier to read. Things are a little bit bigger. It's more in line with what the Outlook calendar looks like, and so it just makes it a little bit easier to view. Now the next thing that we have, and I'm going to just stay right here while I do this. I'm going to minimize Act on the screen here so that we have got my free floating window here. So Act, the way it is natively, you have to stay within the framework of the Act screen, and you can't go outside of it. So I have to jump from calendar to contacts to different screens, and I have to stay within the context of that bounding box that you see around here. And so if I want to go outside of that, I can't. I have to stay within this little window here, and I can't go outside that. Why is I've got the top of my screen cut off, and it's good for me to know that. I didn't realize that. But now what we have is, you'll notice this little icon right here. This is what we call a pop-out window. So if I wanted my calendar, and I'm running dual or triple monitors, and I want to have my monitor onto another screen, I just have to click on this, and that will pop that screen out. It will remember the location and the size of the screen. So if I have this over here, and let's say I make it a little bit bigger, and I move this onto a second or third screen, it will be actually on that screen. And then let me just move this over here, and if I go back to my contacts, I'm on my contact screen, and then I can have this on my other screen. So this gives you the ability to pop out any screen in Act and move it to another screen. And then when you're finished, if I go over to the calendar, it will dock it back in. I can undock it, and then when I close it, it docks it back inside the Act framework. So this is a really, really handy tool to be able to utilize all your screens, especially for those who need to look at calendars. You can do the same thing if you're looking at your life insurance list. You'll see that there's a little button there to pop it out. Any of the different screens you have, whether maybe you're on the task list and you want to pop the task list out, pop it out and put it onto another screen, and then just carry on with looking at whatever other things you wanted to look on your main screen. So this gives you a ton of flexibility to be able to move around inside or outside of the Act framework, and give you that a little bit more freedom on what you want to see and where you want to see it. So you could actually pop out 2 or 3 things, stack them over on another screen. And again, if you're running 3 monitors, like I know some people do, you can have different information on different screens, and as you're clicking on the one screen, it could update information on the other screen. It just makes it really cool to be able to move back and forth. Let's see here. Okay, that was the pop-out screens. Next thing is we have, I love the pop-out screens. I think they're the best. All right, so the next thing we have is this universal search. So you'll see right here where we've got, well, let me go to Todd Miller. Let's go to Todd, our go-to guy. So in here, it's got a universal search, and this universal search, it searches on several different areas. Now, it's limited on what it searches. It doesn't search everything in the database. That's what this search down on the bottom left-hand side or up on the top right-hand corner does. This is the native Act universal search. But if you're wanting to be, this is called a quick search, and you'll be able to do this quick search right inside of here. And basically what it's going to look for, it's going to look at household, company, contact, those fields. It's going to look at all phone fields, all email fields, and all address fields. So if I wanted to find Fred, for an example, I can just type Fred's name in there, and it's going to jump to anybody with Fred, and we've got Fred's family, so it's looking at household, anything with Fred, and it's going to pull all of that information up. So it's quite good that way. Let's go back to Todd. So this is called the universal quick search right there, and you just key in what you want, knowing that it's going to come from those 4 areas, and then be able to pull that information up. Let's see here. Let's see a couple of questions here. I'll get to your questions as soon as I'm finished on this one last thing I'm going to show, and then we'll answer some questions here. And I'm sure. Let's see here. Now, so one of the questions was, in Scott's asking here, is the. Oh, I'm going to have to change the font of that. Whoa. Scott's asking, does it replace the multi-screen setting? I would use it over the multi-screen setting, because the multi-screen setting only does that within the Act window. So within that Act framework, which is you can make the Act window go right across 2 screens, but it's not as functional as what you would have if you just pop them out and put them in different areas where you want them. And so I think personally, I would never use that multi-screen feature that Act has. I don't know a lot of people that do. I would use the pop-out screens. Yes, you can work on each pop-out screen independently. Absolutely. Okay, so moving along. New alerts. The other thing that we've done is you'll know with the alerts here, and so for those of you who are not familiar, and I know there are some out there that got this new feature in version 24 and they haven't used it yet. So in here, what it'll do is it'll pull from different activity fields or date fields. And so we've got in here, you can see birthdays here. There's 4 birthdays. If I click on this one here, it's actually going to pull up all 4 people, or I could do them independently and just pull them up independently. Same with the life insurance policy, the living benefits, investments. I can do the same thing, pull them up in here. But what we've changed is we've got this little gear down at the bottom right-hand corner that now you can go in here and you can adjust how long that you want to have them remind you before. So if I said, hey, notify me every day at 9 a.m., but birthdays, I want to be notified 1 day before. And maybe I want to have an activity. So it's going to create an activity 1 day before, pop it in the calendar, and it'll also give you an alert. So you have the ability to choose, when you want this to remind you, and whether you want an alert, just an alert, or you want an alert and an activity, and it'll do both. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Matt. I think that's how that's set up, where if you choose the activity, it'll do both the activity and the alert. Yep, that's right. Okay, cool. And on the next live stream, if Matt's on, we'll make sure that he can talk on your. We tested this. I'm not sure why. Well, we didn't test it live, so maybe that's the problem. All right, so that's the alerts, and then now this next one. This is really, really cool. Now, you'll notice that my screen is fairly tight on how it's laid out here, and that's just for this presentation so that I could actually not have a great big screen and all the text is small and everybody's squinting to see what Gary's doing here. So I have this framed in here, but most of the time, if you've got one of the newer monitors where you got the widescreen, usually you have a bit of space on the right-hand side. And so we had some input from some people on different things that they would like to have on that space. And Matt had the amazing idea to say, well, why don't we use that space for a bunch of different things? So we have this little sidebar here where you can see it's closed right now. And I should mention before we go any further, uh, we're launching this today, but it's not going to be available till August 1st. There's a few things that Matt wants to tweak in here. One of the things he wants to have is the icons where it can actually pop out a little screen here, because this is what it looks like now. You pop it in, you pop it out, and what it does is it gives you information. Now in here you can change your sidebar. You can make it as wide as you want. And adjust it, and it will stay at whatever side you have. You can grab these and move them up and down, change the order. There's a bunch of them. So we have family members, upcoming activities, notes, recent emails, products, and then some information. And so all this stuff will show up on this bar here, and you can just drag them and drop them into whatever order you want. You can size the windows by just dragging it down. Kind of get it organized the way you want. And one of the things Matt had mentioned to me this morning is when you collapse this, he wants to have these icons showing up in here where he could just click on that and pop that bubble out if you just wanted to see that one thing. And one of the things that kept was mentioned quite often is this attention component right here. Is small, and people said, oh, let's put that over on the right hand side. And so what you can do is you can have we call it notes just for this demo practice, but we'll call that attention, or we'll call it comments or whatever. And you could have that up at the top here, move that up here, and then this could be where your comments, where you actually have this information, and just key in, and it will just scroll as you keep adding information into it. The nice thing about this one is great, but this one, you have all of these editing features. You can change color, you can change size, fonts, how it looks and feels, and get this kind of organized the way you want to see it. And so this sidebar is really, really powerful. So now you've got notes information in there. You've got family members. Even though you can jump to the family members from here, you can now also be able to click on them from here as well. And so this will take you to Christine, and then it will populate all the members of the family there again, and you can go back. Upcoming events, you can see the activities for this particular person. We have a KYC meeting coming up. We've got a review meeting tomorrow. And then you actually have recent emails. So if you wanted to see just the recent, instead of going through history and filtering and scrolling up, like, okay, I have to go down, and there's the recent ones, recent emails. I don't have to filter through this. I can just let me just go back to there we are. I can just go over here, and if I click on the paperclip, it'll actually bring that email up, and then I can view the email. I can go in and view the history as well from clicking on this button there. And then for those of you who are running the advisor and have populated the products like insurance, investments, living benefits, that sort of stuff, it can actually show all of those over here in just a quick view as well, and bring them all together as opposed to into one screen where you're going over to, okay, what's Todd's investments, what's his living benefits, what's his life insurance, and seeing them this way, you can actually see all of the information here, and then click on it, and it will actually pop that window up, and you can view the window. Oh, and you'll also notice that the window for the products matches whatever color you choose for. You see, I've got a purple one here as well, and so you can see how great that looks as well. So so that's how the products work on that one, and then other information, just when their birth, the ages, the marital status, client since, certain information will just pop up here. You've got their investment, insurance, income, kind of shows up on just some random information that pops up. So we think this is a pretty cool little feature here to be able to use there. So look forward to messing around with that a bit and seeing what that can do for you. All right. So let me go over to my screen here and see what we've got next. Oh, one of the things that we've added, and okay, my little arrow's gone to collapse this. So this is one of the, oh, there it is there. Collapse, there we go. So one of the things that we've added in here, we've added some different fields, but one of the things that we were requested, and this is under personal, is to actually have children in here. And what this is you can just key in like we have the children, they're all separate, they have separate contact records in here. And there's a reason for that, so that you can communicate with them and they have a separate contact record for them. But some people wanted to say, hey, and we've had this quite often. In fact, we've had probably about 3 organizations in the last month that said, hey, could we have the children here? These are new onboards that we had. Said, hey, we'd like to have children here. So we've added that in, and we thought, well, let's just add this in, but we'll kick it up a bit. If they have separate contact records, we'll link them to the contact record. So you'll see here I can delete the link if I wanted to, or just keep them linked in here. So all this information will change based on their contact record, or you can just key the information in, whatever works for you. But if it's linked, it's like if I added somebody in here like Bobby Miller, you'll see there it just won't have the link. It'll just leave it in there. So this is nice because then I can just click on the link and go to their particular records if I wanted to. And it's as simple as just clicking on the magnifying glass and then just finding them and linking them to that record. So that's kind of cool. We've also got in our custom tables, which envelops the investments insurance. If I go over to life insurance, you'll see, again, modern. We don't have the grid pattern to be able to separate these. We've got the new modern look to that as well. We also, if I go over to the investment page here, we've done a few things in here. We also have the search in here that we normally had, but we also have, for those of you who may not known or have spent time in here, I'm going to show you a few things that we added in 24 and then also the things that we've added in the new one. But you've got the new modern look and feel. We also have a calculator down at the bottom here, or on the top here beside the filter, where you can actually filter that, and it will actually put, let me just scooch this over a bit. It'll put the number down at the bottom here, and it'll adjust based on whatever you have. But we also have a new date filter in here as well. So if I go in here, and if your date isn't looking like this, you'll want to watch one of the videos that I did up on changing the system date field. I have mine changed so it actually looks like this as opposed to day, month, year, or month, day, year, however some people have it, and it just makes it a little bit easier to see. But if I go in here, there's a few more filters that we've added in here. We've got a bunch in here where you can choose the month, what month. So if you're just wanting to look at the month, but you don't care what year, because maybe you want to pull all the people up at a specific month, and just from an anniversary standpoint. We also have dates. So we've got today, past, future, next week, next month, current date. And then you can also do a custom range from here and then choose the starting point and the end point of what you want them to look at, or what you want to look at. Press filter, and then that will filter it up. So that is the date field. Now the other thing that we've done is we've added what we call quick views, and this came from actually Matt and I wanting something in our database. So a lot of the stuff that you see are stuff that we've kind of tested in our system at first, and then kind of sharing this with you. And so for an example, if I want to change what I'm looking at here, I mean, I can filter everything in, but if there's multiple steps, if I'm filtering by, let's say current value or maturity date, or maybe product type or carrier or whatever, I can filter that. But what if I've got multiple filters? So I can go in here, and I've got a couple saved. I've got one saved. Let me go over to, I've got one saved there. Let me go over to life insurance, because I think I got 2. Yeah, so if I want to pull up Empire Life, there they are. If I want to pull up Manual Life, there they are. I can just clear the filter. And what it will do is it will save whatever you filter here. You can press the save button, save that, give it a name, and it will save it. So you can you can do two things with this. One, filter it to get what you want. And then what you can do is change the columns, add columns, remove columns. And what it'll do is based on whatever one you jump to, it will adjust the filter to pull up what you want to see, but also the columns that you also want to see. So it'll do two things when you actually save it. It'll save the columns in the order and whatever columns you have viewed, and it will also save the filters that you have to get whatever it is you're looking at. So for an example, if I want to pull up in our software one, I want to pull up all the people who have version 24 of ACT and that are still active and that are in a certain area, I can do that and then change the columns, and then I just click on that and it will pull all that information up. So it's like a quick search, if you will, and being able to find all the information that I want to have. There's also, we added in here, and when I say we, I mean Matt, added in here this search container here too. So you can choose from any field that is in the ACT database. And so for an example, if I want to find out, let's say policy number, and this will be able to stick. So when you choose policy number, it'll stick there until you change it. And then you can just type in, if this is something you're always searching as policy number, you can actually put in the policy number. And it will do the same thing for investments, living benefits, the same thing. This search feature is there. Is the group insurance a new tab is being asked right now? No, the group insurance is always been there. And so this, as you're entering in group policies and stuff like that, I don't have any in this demo database, but it will list all the group policies in here as well. And so this has always been here. This is what the group screen it looks like. And I should mention, for those of you who are maybe not familiar with ACT and the advisor, all of the stuff that we're showing you here today is totally customizable. So you can add fields, you can add tons of stuff, you can remove tons of stuff. It's whatever you want to actually see in here is actually viewable. The other thing that I wanted to show you is, there was one more thing on here. And for some of you who may not know this, and I know some don't, because you get using things in here and sometimes you miss it, is this edit mode to be able to actually go in and edit the screen. So you can actually go in and change information on the fly, either here or in the product lists here, and be able to make modification. Okay, Matt's answering questions there. And so just going back over to life insurance for an example here. So you have the edit mode in here as well. But again, being able to filter down and find what you want to do. And again, this is a pop-out screen as well. So this can be popped out and moved on to another screen. So you can be working on, say, an insurance list, have that over, maybe making some updates. And as you, like, say this is a pop-out screen, and this is difficult to show in a demo, but if I have this on another screen and I click on Stacy, it's going to pop up Stacy's record on my other screen. And so this has this nice little flow back and forth where on screen 2, I click Stacy there. On screen 1, it pulls up her contact record and I can view her record. And being able to kind of tandemly work back and forth between two screens, which makes it super powerful. Let me see. Matt, am I missing anything on that? Yeah, there's a couple of fields that we've added. And I've got a few minutes, so I will actually go into that. So I think it was in life insurance. Geez, I wish this mute thing would unmute for Matt. That is so weird. Anyways, moving on. So going back to these product tabs, if you have not been using them, and you do have the advisor, I would suggest you get a hold of us and have a conversation around showing you how you can import this information, keep it up and manage it. I know that financial advisors go onto their online portal and access that information, but there are benefits to having a download dump and having this in there, and it's quite simple and easy to manage and use once you get this information. And it just gives you access to that information right at a touch of your finger, and being able to see where things are at and keep everything kind of navigated. And if you've got multiple carriers, it's even more so important, because you can pull down this information from multiple carriers, and this way you're seeing a concatenation of information all on one screen, which makes it super beneficial. All right, I think, let me just see if I'm missing anything. There's been some bug fixes and performance improvements that we've added. Oh, there are a few other things. And this one kind of threw me off. I was doing a demo the other day, and this one kind of threw me off because I go, what the heck is this? In here, you've got relationships. That used to be called, what was it called before, Matt? That was called... related contacts. That's what it was. Related contacts was it was called that, and it's now relationships. And then this one here, associations, which was separate from relationships. It was actually a pop on one, but this associations allows you then to link this person to a group or a company household record, if you wish. So you can see that Todd and Christine are linked there. And in this one allows you to create relationships with individual contacts as well as relationships with companies. So again, I don't have this set up in this new demo database that I just built, but I will link, maybe I could link Todd to another company, so I can relate Todd, for an example. Let's go say companies, ABC company here, double click, press OK, and I can define the relationship. Let me say he's the, I don't have the list set up on that, but he's the owner, and put in some details, press OK, and then you can see that Todd is under this relationship tab. You can see that he's the owner of ABC Corp as well. Let's see here. I think for the most part, you've got the gist of this. I will be doing an overview video of this. This was kind of a launch where we're kind of shooting from the hip and kind of pulling stuff together. I'm going to be doing an overview video of all the stuff a little more succinctly once we've done our final little tweaks and adjustments before the end of the month. And so look forward to seeing some of the final build of this. I mean, it's not going to be far off from what you're just seeing here. 2 weeks time, it's going to be it's going to look really cool. So you'll have lots of flexibility to change the look and feel of it. You'll have lots of flexibility to be able to have pop-out windows. You've got the sidebar. Just a ton of different little things here that really make a difference. Our goal here is to make your life a little bit easier as you're working with your clients and your contacts within your database. And any feedback, now this is the final build for this particular version. We will be doing updates over the course of the year of little things that we see, but as far as features, but anything that you wished you had or think, hey, this could be in here that would benefit everybody. If there's something specific to you, then you know, we do custom stuff as well. We do a lot of custom stuff as it goes right now, because a lot of people want specific things. But if there's something that's general that we can, you know, put with other people, put it in there. And like we do have some things on our roadmap that we're going to add, that we've got some feedback over the last probably month here with regards to segmentation, and there's a few other things that we had a couple of clients ask about segmentation, and so I'm working with one guy, because one of the things with segmentation is everybody wants it a little bit different. And so I was talking with one fella and said, hey, we can make this really, really simple, And I said, okay, well, if it's very simple and then people can kind of build from that, that's fine. I'm willing to put that in there. And so we're looking at that. Matt and I haven't really finalized anything yet, but we've added a few last minute fields based on a couple of financial advisors here in Calgary, which really makes it nice. One of the questions asked, Matt, is how long does the upgrade process take? That's a really good question. Thanks, Brandon, for that question. So Act version 25, there's a schema update. So there's a schema update to go with that. Depending upon when you've purchased the advisor. So if you got an older advisor, the update will take a little bit longer. If it's fairly recent, like in your case, Brandon, the version of the advisor, there's only a few fields. So the update, Matt, do you want to chime in and just say roughly, I think it's under an hour for those who have recent to be able to do the database update. The install of this is you could do yourself, I think, of the update of the software. But I think it's just the database itself. There's some extra fields that we've added. For an example, there was one other thing I was going to show everybody. Let me just pop back. Fairly quick to do, about 30 minutes. And that doesn't include upgrading Act. But yeah, the update to the advisor is really quick, and then you can do the install. I mean, if you have us do the installs, it's again really quick to do those as well. But about 30 minutes for the database part of it. There was one other thing that I want to mention in here, and I totally forgot. We've added in life insurance, living benefits, and investments. We've added in a notes section in here. And in this notes section, you can actually go in here and add a note for that particular investment, insurance, living benefits. And so you can keep track of anything that you've done with that particular policy or that particular account. You can update that, and you still have access to the beneficiaries, but we added in notes, a whole notes table in here so that you can keep track of anything that you want to change. The other thing we've done under investments is we've added in this ability to do top-ups. Now, this one doesn't have the notes section in here yet. That will be on launch day or when it goes gold. And but we have in here top-ups where you can actually top up your TFSA, or you can top up your RSP. Whatever it is you want to top up, you'll be able to top them up and then just see what you've actually been doing. Filter this out to see just your top ups. Again, you'll have your quick view that you'll be able to jump between investments and your investments and be able to filter it to be able to see different things. And so this will make it a little bit handier for those. When we did a survey at the beginning of the year, we had about 50% of the people said, yes, I would use the top-ups. 50% said no. So we thought we'd throw it in there. It's not hurting anything. It's not slowing it down. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. I think that's about it. Let's see if there's any other questions. I know Matt's been answering. Yes, we will be sending out, for those who want to, we will be doing an email notification when it's all ready to go, and that will be August 1st. And then I'm going on holidays, so Matt will have to cover. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be August 1st. We'll send it out. And for those of you who want to install yourself, you'll have to engage Matt for about 30 minutes just to do a tweak to the database. And then you can do your installs. There will be instructions for that. For those who want us to do it because they just want to make sure everything, they want to put the onus on someone else to make sure it gets done, then we will be booking once we get into August. Then we'll be able to book time with you to be able to take care of that and get those upgrades for you and get it installed and get you ready for the fall. So once September hits, you're off to the races. So if you're looking at probably August would be a good time, and early September before everything goes crazy and everybody's back from school and holidays, if you wanted to get some upgrades going, whether it's version 25 of ACT or whether it's a combination. And correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, this new version 25 of Advisor will also work with version 24 of Act, or do we have that just, it's only going to work with version 25 of Act? I can't remember what the final verdict was on that. Either version, yes. So if you want to stick with version 24 for whatever reason, yeah, you can do that, and we can just update the advisor for you, or you can do it yourself. And then again, for those of you who want to go to version 25, we vetted it out. We're happy with it. 2 thumbs up. Again, not a lot of feature changes there, but there has been stuff behind the scenes, and so we are recommending go to version 25. Anytime you can have some enhancements or improvements to the infrastructure, by all means, let's take advantage of it. And there is a new update coming out in August for version 25, or not, I shouldn't say an update, it's actually a service pack. Service pack 1 will be out in August, and it's got some updates. For those of you who've been waiting, it's updating the details, or the details box where you have all of these. They had some problems with the tab function in there, some of the formatting. That supposedly is all going to be fixed. We're going into beta here pretty quick, and be able to test all that out and let you know how that goes. I think that's it for me. I don't have, I'm just looking, no more questions. If you do have some questions that you want to reach out to me directly, let me know. Happy to answer any questions for you. For those of you, again, who are not using maybe Act or the Advisor and you want a demo, let me know. I'd be happy to schedule a demo with you and kind of go through the nuts and bolts of this. Hopefully this wasn't too convoluted as we're going through. We wanted to get this out so to let people know what they're in store for. We will do some follow-up videos. We'll be doing some new training videos because there's some import features into Act and into the Advisor that we need to kind of make you aware of. So we're going to be busy over the summer doing a bunch of stuff to kind of get you guys set so you can rock and roll. Anyways, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. I know you guys are all busy, and I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day to be able to be here. And hopefully this has been beneficial. And again, reach out to me directly if you have any questions, and we'll see what we can do to help. All the best. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Bye for now.